Hi, my name is Aurelia Taveras, and I'll be your host for this segment of March operations and inspections by NYPD, FDNY, the State Liquor Authority, the Department of Health, and all of the United agencies when they come to inspect your premises. A March operation or an inspection occurs of your premises, and they occur only on alcohol and licensed premises mostly. These are the items that they're looking for, and here's a checklist of the items. And if you sign up for my channel at www.nyrestaurantchannel.com, we'll send you a list of this, and you'll have a list that you can have your manager or you yourself can inspect your premises to make sure that you're compliant, so when they come in, you and the officers are on the same page with what they expect from you and what you expect from them. There is a caveat. I ask that every business owner have their cameras always running during any inspection, during any time anyone comes into your premises, and make sure that you tape everything. Because if there's something that's inconsistent, it can be fought on the liquor authority level, it can be fought on the administrative level, but if you don't have any proof, you cannot show anyone that you complied with what is required of you as a licensee holder with the New York State Liquor Authority. Oftentimes I have owners that tell me, Aurelia, I didn't record it. I go, well, why didn't you record it? I showed him this paper and now he gives me a ticket and says I didn't show it to him. If you tape it with your cameras, they'll know. We can show it to the liquor authority and say, hey, we showed them, we complied with this. Or you can show this or show proof of it to the, when you get a summons, we can show it to the criminal court officer or the judge with your attorney. So these are the things and the items that they're looking for during an inspection. First of all, some of the charges are employing a police officer or a police officer having a financial interest. If you cannot hire a New York State police officer that is actively working with the New York City Police Department, it is against the SLA's policy. A false statement on your SLA application, for instance, your method of operation. If you have DJ, if you have karaoke, if you have live music, if you have dancing, and you have not put it on your liquor license application, that's a false statement that you made to the New York State Liquor Authority. Failure to maintain a proprietary security guard license. And when you have your books and records in order, you should have a copy of the security guard contract and a copy of the security guard company's license. If you don't have that upon display when they do this inspection, you're going to get a fine. Employing an unlicensed security guard. You're supposed to take a picture of their license, make sure their license is up to date, make sure they take their training, and all of that should be displayed in your books and records. Fail to have general liability insurance filed with New York State Department to employ guards. That's tricky. That is really your security guard company should have it. So when you employ a security guard company, ask for their insurance, and then you put it in your books and records, and it'll be available during display for the officers to inspect. Your business certificate, that is your DBA certificate, your assumed name certificate, your corporate filing receipt, whatever your business certificate is, you could be a sole proprietor, whatever it is, that should be displayed on your wall. No name of the premises on the exterior of the building. The newest trend is not to put your name outside. Sometimes even the address is not there. That's not acceptable to the New York State Liquor Authority, and it's not acceptable to the officers when they come to inspect your premises because they want to identify you. And if there's no name or address on the location, they cannot identify the location. Failure to maintain panic and fire exits hardware. That's the panic button on the back door of your premises that you should be able to hit and the door opens automatically, and that is checked by the FDNY when they come into your location. So that should be in working order. Failure to replace burnt out red lights must be illuminated at all times. That's another one with the exit signs, the red lights that surround the exit signs. That's also a finable, summonsable, offense because people cannot get out during an emergency. FDNY does an inspection of your premises as well, and they check your fire extinguishers, They check your, to see if they're working. They check if they've been inspected. So make sure that whoever you use, whether it's Master Fire, whoever's using or you're using to inspect your fire extinguishers, that they inspect regularly and that they stamp your extinguisher receipt so that it shows that you've complied with your inspection for that period of time. Defective fire equipment, it could be the fire extinguishers failing to discharge. That's why it's so important to have your inspections regularly by your supplier or the person who's inspecting your fire extinguisher and your fire equipment. Unlawful operation of a kitchen could be two things. Removing the kitchen when you know that you've told the liquor authority on your application that you're going to be a restaurant with a full kitchen, or removing the kitchen and you have like a mini kitchenette for a bar, because your license says minimum food service, so you're thinking that, do I really even need the kitchen at all? I don't have enough room. Well, you do. Food must be served when you're serving people who are consuming alcohol. And things like obstructions in the front or the exit, those are things that shouldn't be covering. For instance, I had a guy who had a motorcycle, because he came in a motorcycle to his business. The motorcycle was covering the exit of the establishment. There was another one who had a coat check room that he only set up during the winter months, but it took a portion of, you had to kind of push in to get into the establishment. None of that is acceptable. When there's a fire, an emergency, people need to be able to get out of your location. And if you obstruct the entrances, they won't be able to. A curtain placed over the exit, again, another obstruction. And the NYPD, when they walk by, they don't necessarily come in all the time. They want to be able to look inside. And if you've obstructed the view, that's a problem. If you have tinted windows, another problem. Those are the things that are the simple ones, and they're easy to correct. Just remove the curtain. So this is the interesting one. This is the steadfast rule for fire extinguishers. They're supposed to be 4 inches off the floor and not higher than 5 feet. So, they should be eye level. I'll make it easy. Eye level, and they should be hand level off the floor, and they should never be on the floor. Your fire extinguishers must be mounted because they're easily to grab, and they're not on the floor where they can be kicked, turned over, where people don't know where they are, and there should be signs where your fire extinguisher is. Your occupancy sign. An occupancy sign should say how many people, or should display how many people can be in the space before the floor caves in. Most of the time it's 74, 70, 69. If it's over 74, it could be 103, 110, 200. All of those signs must be, it's easy. It's a red and white sign you can buy in a 99-cent store. Fill it in based on your occupancy, and you have complied with what's required of you as a license holder. Failure to maintain your video surveillance equipment. Video surveillance is important on so many aspects. I ask that you have that video surveillance on during any inspection, absolutely, to make sure that everybody follows the law, including the NYPD. And video surveillance equipment helps you in case of an emergency or in case you're being fined. I had a NYPD officer write a summons to a location because the person came intoxicated to the business, and the owner said, no, we're not going to serve you. He pushed his way through, went to the bar. The bartender visibly on the video said, no, we're not going to serve you. You're drunk. He pushed him into the bar. The security came, grabbed him, and put him outside. He was so intoxicated, he fell. He went to the police and told them that we had pushed him, that the business owner had pushed him, kicked him out, mistreated him. The truth of the story is, if you saw the video, you could see that he was visibly intoxicated. He came up to the bar, he was denied liquor service, and then he was carried out because he wouldn't leave. So this fine was dismissed by the liquor authority. The liquor authority didn't spend one moment on this because they had video. It was clear. No summons, after the summons was issued, no ticket was issued by the liquor authority. no complaint was filed. So the licensee acted appropriately under the circumstances. But if we didn't have video, we wouldn't be able to show any of that. So video and maintenance of those videos are very important, and they can be very helpful for fines in the future. Thank you for watching this segment of inspections and March operations, and we hope that the information provided here was as helpful as possible. And again, give us a like on www.nyrestaurantchannel.com. I'm your host, Aurelia Tavares, and see you next time on the next segment.